In 2014, Mt. Gox was the beating heart of the cryptocurrency world, processing over 70% of Bitcoin transactions globally. For millions of early adopters, it was the gateway to a new financial future. But behind the scenes, a nightmare was unfolding. Security breaches, mismanagement, and a devastating hack would bring Mt. Gox to its knees, wiping out $20 billion worth of Bitcoin and leaving the crypto world in chaos. Today, we dive into the rise and catastrophic fall of Mt. Gox, uncovering the lessons it holds for the future of cryptocurrency. The story of Mt. Gox starts with Jed McCaleb, a talented programmer with a knack for identifying opportunities. In 2010, McCaleb created a platform to trade cards for the game, Magic: The Gathering, a project he called Mt. Gox, short for Magic: The Gathering Online Exchange. While the platform served its niche audience well, McCaleb quickly realized its potential for a much broader purpose. Bitcoin, a relatively unknown digital currency at the time, had started gaining traction among tech enthusiasts. McCaleb saw an opportunity to transform Mt. Gox into a Bitcoin exchange. At the time, trading Bitcoin was cumbersome and required technical expertise. McCaleb's vision was to simplify this process, making Bitcoin accessible to a wider audience. By mid-2010, Mt. Gox had transitioned into a Bitcoin exchange. The timing couldn't have been better. As Bitcoin gained popularity among libertarians, tech-savvy investors, and those skeptical of traditional finance, Mt. Gox became their go-to platform for buying, selling, and storing Bitcoin. By 2011, Mt. Gox was growing beyond McCaleb's capacity to manage it. That's when Marc Carpelles, a French entrepreneur living in Tokyo, stepped in. A skilled developer with a passion for Bitcoin, Carpelles saw potential in the platform. Carpelles purchased Mt. Gox from McCaleb and relocated its operations to Japan. Under his leadership, the exchange expanded rapidly, cementing its status as the world's largest Bitcoin trading platform. Between 2012 and 2013, Bitcoin's popularity exploded. It was hailed as a revolutionary form of money, free from government control. And Mt. Gox, now processing up to 70% of global Bitcoin transactions, was at the heart of this revolution. Fueled by a surge in Bitcoin prices, Mt. Gox's trading volume skyrocketed. For millions of users, the platform became synonymous with Bitcoin itself. For many, Mt. Gox was more than just an exchange. It was the gateway to financial freedom, a place where ordinary people could invest in what felt like the future of money. Part of Mt. Gox's success was its perceived reliability. At a time when few exchanges existed, Mt. Gox offered a simple interface and appeared to provide a secure way to trade and store Bitcoin, Mark Karpeles positioned himself as a thought leader in the crypto space, promoting Mt. Gox as a pillar of trust and innovation. His vision was to make Bitcoin mainstream, and for a while, it seemed to be working. But behind the scenes, Mt. Gox was struggling to keep up. The rapid growth in user activity exposed flaws in its infrastructure, from outdated software to poor management practices. Frequent service outages and slow withdrawals frustrated users. While the crypto boom masked these issues, they hinted at deeper problems within the company's operations. Karpeles, known for his technical skills, often micromanaged the platform's operations. However, his inexperience in managing a global financial platform left the company vulnerable to external threats. Bitcoin's meteoric rise was both a blessing and a curse for Mt. Gox. While it brought unprecedented growth, it also put the exchange in the spotlight, making it a target for hackers and critics alike. At its peak, Mt. Gox was holding hundreds of thousands of bitcoins in its hot wallets, making it an attractive target for cybercriminals. Yet, despite its size, the exchange lacked the robust security measures needed to protect such vast amounts of cryptocurrency. By the end of 2013, Mt. Gox was at the top of the cryptocurrency world. But its rapid rise had outpaced its ability to manage risk. Beneath the surface, cracks were forming, cracks that would soon lead to one of the largest financial disasters in crypto history. The story of the Mt. Gox hack didn't start in 2014. It began years earlier. In June 2011, just months after Mark Karpeles took over the exchange, Mt. Gox suffered its first major breach. Hackers exploited vulnerabilities in the platform's code to access user funds. Though 25,000 bitcoins were stolen, worth approximately $400,000 at the time, Mt. Gox managed to continue operations. Karpeles assured users that the platform had addressed the security flaws, but the reality was far more complicated. Over the next 3 years, Mt. Gox's reserves were slowly siphoned off by hackers. Exploiting a vulnerability in the platform's transaction processes, the attackers managed to manipulate balances without detection. Transaction malleability allowed hackers to alter transaction IDs, making it appear as though Bitcoin transfers had not been completed. This tricked Mt. Gox into sending duplicate payments, draining its reserves over time. By the time the hack was discovered, nearly 850,000 bitcoins, worth $20 billion today, had been stolen, with much of it already laundered through untraceable transactions. As early as 2013, Mt. Gox users began noticing irregularities. Withdrawals were often delayed for days, and some reported discrepancies in their account balances. These were clear signs that something was wrong. Karpeles attributed the issues to bugs in the platform's software, reassuring users that their funds were safe. Behind the scenes, however, he and his team were scrambling to uncover the extent of the problem. Internal documents show that Mt. Gox employees were aware of significant discrepancies in the exchange's Bitcoin reserves. But instead of addressing the root cause, they focused on patching the symptoms. On February 7, 2014, Mt. Gox froze all Bitcoin withdrawals, citing technical issues. This announcement sent shockwaves through the crypto community as users rushed to understand what was happening. Trust in Mt. Gox quickly evaporated. Users demanded answers, but the company remained tight-lipped. fueling speculation about a larger problem. 3 weeks later, the truth came out. Mt. Gox filed for bankruptcy, revealing that 850,000 bitcoins, worth $473 million at the time, had been stolen. It was the largest financial disaster in cryptocurrency history. For many users, Karpelès' apology offered little comfort. Their investments were gone, and Mt. Gox's collapse raised troubling questions about the safety of cryptocurrency exchanges. The impact of the Mt. Gox hack was felt far beyond its users. Bitcoin's price plummeted, losing over 30% of its value in the weeks following the collapse. For many, this was a wake-up call about the risks of investing in an unregulated market. Unlike traditional banks, cryptocurrency exchanges are not insured. When an exchange collapses, users have little recourse to recover their funds. Despite the immediate fallout, Bitcoin eventually recovered, and the cryptocurrency market continued to grow. But the scars of the Mt. Gox disaster remained, shaping the industry for years to come. One of the enduring mysteries of the Mt. Gox hack is the fate of the stolen bitcoins. While some were traced to laundering schemes, the majority remain unaccounted for. Locked away in unknown wallets, Bitcoin's transparency is a double-edged sword. While transactions are public, determining the identity of wallet owners is incredibly difficult. To this day, only a fraction of the stolen bitcoins have been recovered, leaving many to wonder if the full truth about the hack will ever come to light. The hack that brought down Mt. Gox wasn't just a theft. It was a turning point for the cryptocurrency industry. It exposed the vulnerabilities of early exchanges, the dangers of poor management, and the need for stronger security measures. The collapse of Mt. Gox sent shockwaves through the cryptocurrency world. Bitcoin, which had reached an all-time high of over $1,000 just months earlier, saw its value plummet by more than 30% in the aftermath of the scandal. Investors who had trusted Mt. Gox to safeguard their Bitcoin were left with nothing. For many, it wasn't just a financial loss. It was a betrayal of the trust they had placed in the platform and its leadership. Meanwhile, creditors around the world launched lawsuits to recover their losses. The bankruptcy process was complicated by the unregulated nature of cryptocurrency and the difficulty of tracing stolen funds. The bankruptcy dragged on for years, with creditors waiting for compensation, as investigators worked to unravel the full scope of the hack. The fall of Mt. Gox was a turning point for the cryptocurrency industry. It exposed the vulnerabilities of early exchanges and underscored the need for stronger security protocols and regulatory oversight. After Mt. Gox, exchanges began adopting best practices like storing funds in cold wallets, implementing two-factor authentication, and using multi-signature wallets to reduce the risk of hacks. Governments around the world also took notice. The Mt. Gox scandal sparked debates about the need for regulations to protect crypto investors and prevent similar disasters in the future. One of the most enduring mysteries of the Mt. Gox collapse is the fate of the stolen bitcoins. While some were traced to laundering schemes and dormant wallets, the majority remain unaccounted for, locked away in anonymous accounts. Was the hack the work of a sophisticated criminal syndicate? Or was it an inside job, aided by someone within Mt. Gox? These questions remain unanswered, fueling speculation, and conspiracy theories. To this day, some of the stolen bitcoins sit in wallets that haven't been accessed for years, leaving investigators and the crypto community wondering if the full truth will ever come to light. In 2021, after nearly a decade of legal battles, creditors began receiving partial payouts from Mt. Gox's remaining assets. While far from the full amount lost, these payments offered some closure to those affected. The Mt. Gox disaster serves as a cautionary tale for anyone involved in cryptocurrency. Here are the key lessons we can take away. 1. Not your keys, not your coins. Always store your crypto in a private wallet you control, not on exchanges. 2. Do your research. Choose exchanges with strong security measures and a proven track record. 3. Diversify investments. Don't put all your funds in one platform or asset to minimize risk. Today, reputable exchanges store most of their funds in cold wallets, which are offline and significantly harder to access. Multi-signature authentication and rigorous security audits have also become standard practices. For individual investors, here are 3 security tips to protect your assets. 1. Use hardware wallets for long-term storage. 2. Enable two-factor authentication on your accounts. 3. Regularly update your passwords and avoid reusing them. The Mt. Gox disaster forced governments to take a closer look at cryptocurrency. The lack of regulations at the time allowed exchanges like Mt. Gox to operate without accountability, leaving users vulnerable. Since then, countries around the world have introduced laws to regulate cryptocurrency exchanges. These include requirements for anti-money laundering compliance, AML, Know Your Customer Protocols, KYC, and mandatory cybersecurity standards. Despite the Mt. Gox disaster, Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency industry have proven remarkably resilient. Over the years, Bitcoin has not only recovered but thrived, reaching new all-time highs and gaining mainstream adoption. Thanks for joining us on Cash Chronicles. If you found this story of Mt. Gox's rise and fall insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Stay informed, stay secure, and we'll see you in the next episode.